Welcome to Innovators, a series where we sit down with thought leaders across the healthcare space to discuss some of the industry's most pressing topics. Joining me today is Scott Jubeck, the SVP of Product here at Inovalon. Really looking forward to the conversation, Scott.
I am too. Thanks for having me today.
Of course. So we know that healthcare data has been a hot topic for a long time now, and even more so with the growing use of AI. But there are so many different kinds of data out there, different understandings of what data is. Start off by telling me what primary source data is and why it's so valuable.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic question. I think that's actually one of the most misunderstood terms across the industry. Primary source really means original source. We receive the data directly from our 160 sources across the country. And because we receive the data directly from those folks, we are the source of truth. We know where the data comes from, we know where it originates, and that's super important. For a variety of different applications, data provenance is super important for our end users. And because we collect the data directly, we know that it hasn't been passed through multiple hands before it arrives in our databases.
So then, taking it a step further, what are these healthcare teams that are using the data? What can they do with primary source data?
That is a really long list of use cases for real-world data. And traditionally, if you look at closed claims data specifically, it's been primarily focused, or traditionally focused, I should say, on health economics and operations research, or HEOR research. And that's used for a large variety of analyzing healthcare outcomes for a variety of different interventions. But there's also lots and lots of other opportunities to use the data for clinical analytics, commercial analytics. And I think the piece where I'm most excited about is the emergence of using real-world data in clinical trial applications.
So we talk a lot about the technology, about the data, but at the end of all of this, we have patients. So tell me a little bit about how a patient can benefit from these large data sets that are behind the scenes. How is that impacting their care journey?
In addition to just getting better drugs to the market, one stat that really sticks out to me is that 85% of all clinical trials fail because they cannot recruit the populations that they need to be effective. 85% of clinical trials. That increased costs for all of us, and that delays life-saving treatments from the market. And with the use of real-world data, we can help life science organizations design the right clinical trials from the start, find the right investigators, find the right sites, and recruit those patients to those clinical trials. Again, it reduces costs for all of us and delivers life-saving treatments to the market even faster. So that's just one use case that I'm particularly passionate about when it comes to real-world data, and I think we're just on the beginning of our journey. Yes, we are making some wonderful strides today, but there's so much more we can do in the future with real-world data.
Absolutely. And I hear that we have some exciting news about our MORE² registry dataset. Anything you want to share there?
We are absolutely thrilled that the MORE² registry has now surpassed 400 million unique lives. And that's important for a variety of different reasons. One, it's a testament to the investment that Inovalon has made over the last several decades to building this wonderful research-ready data set. In addition to that, it represents the U.S. population as a whole across all different payer types and geographies. And so that's a wonderful use case that unlocks lots of use cases for researchers. But I think one that really resonates with me is the fact that we can do deep analysis into unique oncology or rare disease situations because we have such a large data set. We can find those unique patients that researchers can't untap in other data sets. So for that reason, I am extremely proud to say that Inovalon has built a MORE² registry to over 400 million patients. I think it's a remarkable achievement, and I think it's something that's really exciting for us in the future.
Yes, it is definitely a huge milestone. So thank you so much, Scott, and of course, everyone on the Inovalon team who has had a hand in that. So Scott, that wraps up our questions for today. It was really great sitting down with you. And of course, to everybody who has tuned in, thank you so much. And be sure to watch out for our next episode of Innovators.
Thank you so much. Pleasure being here.